and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and kick things off with some very nice classical Korean architecture. That's the actual official map name is classical Korean architecture.
You know, we are in a new era here. You know, the Gen.G fans, I think a lot of them old Lunatic High fans, because that's kind of how Lunatic High split. They became Seoul Dynasty, and their two more high-profile players became PUBG players and obviously joined Gen.G, so the org kind of absorbed all of that. And I think if you're a Lunatic High fan from the old days, you kind of feel like it's time to show up and cheer again. Gen.G with a solid roster, well, more experience than KongDoo Panthera. We'll see how it all pans out here, as we are going to have GOATs to start on this map, which plays very similar to Hanamura A on the fighting point.
We do have Gen.G though, changing it up a little bit here with Agnes over onto the McCree. We'll be pushing forward up behind the Ryan shield. KongDoo Panthera wrapping their way around. True taking a bit of tag, so we'll go ahead and get popped back up to full HP. Now gonna have to worry about Cleston here, as they just keep taking a beating as they try to run Gen.G, but they just keep cutting their way back, poking them out. But now over onto the point where things have unlocked. Let's see who's going to be getting that first cap. The tank line again from KongDoo Panthera, taking a beating. Consistently down below half HP, and now True will get taken out. Luke able to find that first blood. Shortly thereafter will get taken down. Cleston going to be popped out of that back now. Stalker and Choice A1 both going to be falling. Agatha as well going to be crumbling. Gen.G trying to hold on. Both teams really by a thread here at this point. Selly goes high energy. Stun coming in. Agnes able to find the kill there on the Costos, and Selly will get taken down. Gen.G able to open up the point.
Agnes controlled that whole point. It's sad that we didn't see any of his first-person view throughout the fight, because he took almost no damage because his team supported him throughout that entire initial skirmish, and was able to get that stun there to turn things at the end where he was able to heal up. Now he's got a Deadeye, they have ult advantage, and this is the Protect the McCree. The burst damage is there if the Zenyatta lives long enough to make it valuable. He's going to step back and toss out the High Noon.
Looking for a target. Hasn't really locked anybody down. Saw one for just a second there. See KongDoo playing back quite well to go ahead and avoid that one. Now True pushing forward. Manages to find Stalker, opening things up a little bit. Graviton Surge in the Shatter, locking him down. And that will just be Gen.G cleaning up the fight, maintaining control. Going to be looking for that Diva. They'll get the pop out here, charge over onto the drum. Not going to find the pin. You can just go ahead and leave Cleston by himself for a moment.
Because of how control works, and it always has worked, whether it was Dive or GOATs or any other variation, the Pharah comps we've seen on control, the person who gets the first cap always has an edge. But in this meta, with these matchups, you also have the ult advantage and the delay tactics. And even though Agnes did almost nothing in the back there, it's just two ult combo. They had the ult advantage for the tanks there that guarantees them the win on that fight.
Self-destruct going to be thrown down. Graviton Surge locking up a couple on the backside there. Luke will get taken down. Barrier helping to keep everybody else alive. Levels investing that. Exchange on the Reinhardts, but now Stalker going to be down. So a 3-for-1 advantage here for KongDoo as they look for the flip. 75% gain for Gen.G as Levels will go ahead and get taken out here right on the back end of the fight. Flip does come through, but how long can they maintain control?
Well, Shubil gets another grab in the fight, so they have this ult advantage. They were very passive in that fight, and they knew that once the grab caught, all they used was the sound barrier, which probably ended up being pretty, I mean, I think it actually was correct. It bought them a lot of time. It might have turned the fight. But now they have the ability to approach using the speed boost. Agnes can Deadeye while they set up for the grab. It's too tough to block all of that.
Yeah, Deadeye coming through. Graviton Surge is going to get tossed out here.
Huge opportunity.
They're going to lock him down. That's going to be two going over the way of Agnes. True and Sally both going to be eliminated. 1 for 2 trade up here for Gen.G. Luke just now respawning. Look for the flashbang in. Agnes gets tagged up. His way back with the roll, manages to stay alive. Now pushing back up here, stun in onto the Lucio. A couple more tags, and Costos will get taken down. Agnes claims another one. Pop out, flashbang in. Shot is good. Cleston will die, and the flip is back through for Gen.G. Now 81% to 40. KongDoo Panthera need a flip, and they need it real fast.
Oh, this is just such good play by Gen.G. And I have to give Dance most of the credit, because he's been able to just constantly put Harmony Orbs on Agnes at the last second to keep him alive. He's doing the majority of the damage here, and I've got another grab. There's just no way in here. Panthera's going to try to send one member across, probably Costos.
They're back having right now.
But it doesn't matter if they can't win this fight.
They do manage to go ahead and take control away. Shatter going to be coming down. Graviton Surge is there to answer. Sound barrier in. Selly will find the first kill as Shubil gets taken down. Luke now falling low, tries to cut his way back, will not be able to do so. Selly coming up with a double kill. Pin is good. Gets a hit there on the levels, and it seems like KongDoo Panthera will be able to stabilize here on the back of that back cap.
Yeah, this was actually really weird that this happened this way. Costos got both the back cap and then was able to come in with the barrier. They didn't track where he was. And it's almost as if they realized he was capping. They thought, well, there's no Lucio here, but he got back just in time. Really well done by KongDoo Panthera, kind of pulling the wool over Gen.G's eyes here now.
Yeah, it was a 5v6 effectively.
Yeah, and they were able to make that back barrier turn everything around. They've got the rally now on top of that.
Charging forward, looking for that shield bash. Shatter going to be coming down, but the shield is up. Going to be locking down anybody but True. Will still fall. Luke pushing forward, swinging away like a madman, looking for some targets. Goes in for the pin, gets the hit there onto the mech. Cleston will get popped out. Fire strike is good. Actually finds Agatha. Was looking for the pilot form, but still came up. Trumps gets a massive little pick off there. Getting rid of one of those supports, and a flip coming back through. OT ticking down. Gen.G looking to close out Sanctuary, and they will 192%.
Agnes really finding value on this McCree that we did not see when we saw this attempted on Achilios earlier by Geekstar, right? I mean, it is very much, McCree is a glass cannon type hero in this meta where if he is allowed to live and you have a highly skilled mechanical McCree, which at this level of play, you're always going to have. I mean, they've qualified for, or they built a roster that's in Contenders, right? So you kind of know that's going to be the case, but they protected him well. Dins kept him healed up. He did so much damage, and also they were able to consistently keep Shubil in the lead in ult charge. We'll be switching over to the D.Va now as more traditional hero as we move into our second phase here.
Yep. Moving downtown.
It's going to be a swap over Panthera, actually kind of taking a page out of Gen.G's book, running the McCree comp themselves, or they were thinking about it. Sally will switch back over to Zarya. That's going to cost them a lot of time, and a positional advantage now for Gen.G exists because of that swap.
Go ahead and be able to posture forward, looking for the wraparound. They know exactly which way they're coming. Right, pushing its way through. Stalker goes forward, 80 energy, built up there very rapidly as the point gets unlocked. Starts getting captured by Gen.G, and they will be able to go ahead and lock that one down. Stalker falls low, manages to stay alive, and True lockdown will just go ahead and get burned out. As this Cleston here out of that mech and eliminated. Gen.G, everybody staying alive, getting that nice little pick off on the back end with the choice A1.
And this is, again, Achilles, this is one of those things that highlights how big it is when you actually have a late Zarya and you have a late move to the point, because Gen.G is already fanned out, they've got control of the choke, and they have a massive ult advantage as well because Panthera was really unable to commit.
Rally's going to be in, Shatter coming down from Luke. Looks like he didn't really catch anybody. The shield coming up there from Drew, blocking that one out. They managed to get the punish there onto the enemy Rhine. Now charging forward, looking for a much faster flip this time around. Graviton Surge out from Stalker, locking in a couple members, and the bomb is there from Shubil. He's going to fight for. Cleston gets popped out of that mech. Flip, however, still getting ready to come through, but Stalker rejoining, still high energy on this Zarya. They managed to maintain control, now moving up above 50.
And I would have loved to see an instant replay on that, because I think that was actually everyone caught underneath that kind of bridge or arch, whatever you want to call it, and there was just there's simply no way out there. With the grab combo, even though the grab was a little bit early, they were stuck in a place where there's just no way to protect them even. So really well played here by Gen.G. Nice placement there on that grab.
And they find their own. Graviton Surge coming down, locking up Stalker and Luke. Both going to be taken down very shortly thereafter. Agnes trying to rejoin here onto the point with the rest of his team, but has a sliver of HP remaining and will get taken out in the end. Pop out coming in, Shubil will be eliminated. Multiple ultimates here for KongDoo to try to maintain control of this as they get the flip.
Level's just kind of buying some time there. 80%, pretty nice to have, but it's the ult advantage that KongDoo Panthera has that makes you feel like the ball's in their court right now more than the charging up. If they can be efficient with this Shatter, then they can absolutely be, I think, be called ahead in this game.
Looking for that shield bash here. Sound barrier going to be coming down. Gen.G looking to open things up. The Shatter going to be going straight into the shield. Shubil does get down there in the end. The self-destruct managed to take him out of that mech. Clean up here as they go ahead and continue to push forward, but there's still a very long way to go for KongDoo to close out this round.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of what players like Panker would do back in the old Apex days. You try to walk through the barrier and set up a self-destruct, or sorry, rather a shatter, and the self-destruct goes on the other side. So the Reinhardt's caught between a rock and a hard place. Really textbook play here. Nicely done.
And stun up there. Luke falling low, just trying to get that shatter online. It's a meaty fire strike in the end, and now we'll have that one available. And he lined it up. The answer is going to be yes. Catches pretty much everybody. Charged through there. On it, Costos takes him down. Fire strike back into the other side. Graviton Surge going to be coming down, locks him up. He is on his lonesome just about. The Transcendence has come through from Dance to keep him alive. Now True going to be traded out. Luke trying to retreat. The armor packs coming in from Agnes, helping to keep him topped up as best as possible. Will be taken down in the end. It's an exchange. Custom gets popped out of the back of the pilot form. Will get eliminated. Graviton Surge going to be coming in as Gen.G looks for this flip. The bombs there from Shubel finds another double kill. Dance cleans up Choi Se-Wan. The flip coming in. Gen.G at 85%.
And they lost their crucial support ultimates, the rally, the sound barrier. Had they been a little bit more disciplined, backed off, and then come back with these ultimates, they could perhaps see a contest here. But because they stayed, tagging the point itself is going to be an issue here. They're going to have positional disadvantages, and as you can see, this is the end.
Yeah, it's disconnected. That's still the self-destruct, however, so Crescent can make it back into the mech, but now True, falling low, getting isolated, will go ahead and get burned down. Stalker, high energy, has just been hovering around 100 this entire time. Sound barrier to just go ahead and send it home for Gen.G. Keeps them all topped up, they'll clean up the kills, and it's just Costos by himself. The Graviton Surge will not be able to catch that pesky Lucio, but Agnes's shift will go ahead and take him down, and Gen.G clean up house on Busan.
Very clean there at the end, but there were certainly moments where the upper hand was on the side of KongDoo Panthera. I think my favorite moment in that first map was the backdoor there by Costos, getting onto the point, stealing that away, the rejoining his team at the perfect moment. And during all of that, KongDoo was hard engaging in a 5v6, so you kind of can't really counter the back cap. You just have to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to win the 6v5. But then he comes back in the exact right moment, knowing he has the sound barrier. That was some impressive decision-making here from this squad of, really about half rookies here, the new Panthera.
And I think that actually might have just been kind of stutter-stepping coming through for Gen.G. I think as soon as they see that back cap happening, they have to hit the go button and just try to take the fight and get the victory there, but they waited until the cap was essentially completed. So then the Lucio's on his way back, has his speed boost running, can join in a matter of seconds. If you don't go for the fight in that instant, then suddenly you lose that 6v5 advantage that you have. Now it's a 6v6. They got outplayed, so weren't able to pull the trigger in that moment.
Sure.
But still do manage to come out on top, get that 2-0, but a much closer 2-0 here on Busan between these teams than we saw in our first series.
It's surreal for me to see MMA on stage with the Gen.G jersey. The last GSTL, which is a team league that ComTV hosted, was in this studio, and his team, which was Total Biscuit's team, actually took the last GSTL title, and his team is actually framed just below us in the Hall of Fame. So now in a completely new role, the coach of an Overwatch team, returned from the military, starts things off with a bang. It's giving me a little bit of feels, honestly, just to see. A lot of people say when you're a pro gamer, what happens after that ends? Where do you go? How do you transition from being a multi-time GSL champion and traveling the world, winning international events? Then you go to the military, and it's like, what do you do after that? And I think that this is another one of those cases of, well, you can become a coach. There's so many other jobs, and once you get older and you retire from being a player, that you can actually step into a management role. And I'm hoping the best for the squad and for him, but it does feel surreal that I sat in this seat 5 years ago, commentating him winning a Team League championship, the last one, and then now, he's on a team again, but this time as a coach.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And, the coaching obviously is going at least decently well from the start of things.
We'll see if he can go ahead and keep it up for the rest of this series. But KongDoo Panthera, they are showing signs of life. There has been some decent ult management coming through. Kind of blew everything at the end there. Didn't have any ults to try to retake that point. Just kind of streamed in one after the other and got picked off very rapidly on downtown to close it out in favor of Gen.G. But this is looking like this is potentially going to be a more competitive series as we go deeper and deeper through it than our first one, where Runaway was just able to just go ahead and basically stomp out that entire time. But while we get ready to figure out what our second map will be, we'll go ahead and take a look at some cheerfuls. We have swapped out the Runaway fans with plenty of Gen.G fans.
That's right.
And KongDoo fans, of course.
KongDoo fans, never in short supply. When we look at how that last map went, I think it's a little bit less cut and dry than our previous series where we were able to say, well, both teams were running the same comp, Runaway was better, so we thought Numbani would be the right choice. In this case, it's, again, less cut and dry, and I think both map options for KongDoo Panthera are very viable here. And it's really just going to come down to preference. In the past, you would always think KongDoo Panthera 3-3, they're running the GOATs, that's their strength, it's their meta, that's how they got to the finals last season. But it's a little bit different now with this roster, and they don't have the same tank line, they do not have the, they don't have Roar, right? So it's a little bit tougher.
Oh, Gen.G. The Gen.G Genji.
The Gen.G Genji.
Wearing it like a mask.
The Contenders sign here.
Kind of looks like the G2 mask. If you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I know.
But,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's reminiscent of that for me. Also has like the samurai aspect going on to it. And yep, it's more of this.
Cheering fans, yeah.
The zoom in. We saw this exact sign last season, basically, but now it's for Gen.G. The zoom in on what looked like just another face, but it's actually just a zoom in on the nose and the mouth.
Yeah. I don't know what this is in reference to, but it's just someone shouting. Could be a fan or a commentator yelling Gen.G. It says if you lose today, don't even think about coming home.
And then there's an explosion. Oh God.
Something about Ru Jae-hong. I can't see the bottom right part, but anyway. I guess if you lose, don't come home.
Jae-hong is the one who's going to be dishing out the punishments for the the academy team if they don't get victories, I guess.
Yeah, Ru Jae-hong, age 28 is the dog that's listed there.
Okay.
So,
he is looking a bit shaggy these days with that new hairstyle.
Certainly.
So
he certainly has, and I'm not a big fan of it, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit as it grows longer.
Maybe he's decided that he's not going to cut his hair until Seoul Dynasty picks up some more wins in Overwatch League Season 2.
Yeah, maybe if they make playoffs
Could
for
be.
the first time, maybe he'll go back to a cleaner look. He's got the he's kind of got the wandering support, trying to find himself look going on right now. Like he's taken a journey through the mountain of the rest of the group stage. It was a rough one.
He went on a walkabout,
I mean, I personally...
He had like a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And his spirit guy was like, grow your hair out.
I've been pretty vocal about thinking that, for me personally, I think that Seoul Dynasty is the biggest disappointing team of Overwatch League, more than Shanghai Dragons, because you expected so much from Seoul Dynasty.
Sure.
And I was also the one who felt strongly with the coaching staff they pulled from GC Busan and the funding they had. I was like, well, this team probably wins, right? But how wrong I was. But now they've got an academy team, which means it's easier to kind of funnel talent upwards from
Have internal scrims as well.
Exactly.
Maybe he's like, maybe Jae-hong's like, what is it, Samson? Where his power is in his hair.
Yeah, could be.
Doesn't really make sense because he didn't have that hair when he was, considered the best player
Maybe
in the world.
Maybe he's reverse Samson because he has like less power the more hair he has.
It could be. He just needs to shave his head.
His hair's getting his eyes and he's trying to hit those sleep darts, it gets tough.
Everyone will think he's shaving his head out of stress, but it's like, no, actually, this is just making him perform better.
Well, there seems to be some sort of
They're really
technical
thinking.
issue.
They're really just thinking hard about what map it's going to be. There's so many choices.
When there were so many choices before, it was easy, but now it's only 2. Like when you go get a phone, right? If there's like 8 choices, it's really easy to be like, you know what? I want this color specifically. But when it's like, okay, there's gray and then there's white, or there's gray and there's black, and you're like, this is tough. Like I'm gonna have to live with this for my 2-year contract. I don't know. And it gets really tough. But there's like 8 colors. It's easier. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we're ready. No substitutions. The map choice. What's it gonna be?
I don't know. I'm just enjoying this Outrun style dark synthwave music that we have going on. It's such a change.
Numbani.
But that's not going to be a change. We're going to have the same hybrid map here back-to-back in our first 2 series of the season.
Might potentially get 2 if we get to see more of Numbani than we did earlier. See Selly's Widowmaker. Got quite a reputation on that hero at the moment. And we'll see if Choi Se-hwan gets to play the Gen.G. I think that's going to be a big boon for them. That's the focus and why they picked this map. They've got solid dive. Let's see how it pans out.
Here we go. Relax and unwind. That's what you guys are doing at home, I'm sure. We'll bring you the dulcet tones of this cast and the action that's coming through.
Yeah. Until we have a 2.5-minute team fight on point A like we did earlier.
We should try to do... Yeah, that's true. We should try to do like an MPR style cast for this match.
Well, I just have to point out that you said that's true, right? Is the camera panned around the player true?
That's also true.
Yes, indeed it is.
I didn't get to make a who's on first joke in our first series.
Well, there's always time for that.
Yeah, I'll hold it for later, you know.
So again, the composition here, it's going to be Selly not on the Widow, but on the McCree. They're going to be running this Protect the McCree on high ground with Winston for counter dive after all the abilities are used to chase the McCree. It's very common back in Season 2 and the end of Season 1 of Contenders Korea. Stalker running the Sparrow, so already somewhat countered though by the McCree. It's going to be tough to continue to run this if they can't make this push work.
Unless he can get picked off. So push back here, but Stalker has to cheat back around the corner. Tagged up a couple times. Shelly will get top back up and takes that direct hit. Stay alive. Armor coming through from Choice A1. Hoping to keep him sustained and actually finds that first kill. Agnes will get taken down. Now pushing back around, looking to dismantle this pharmacy.
You can see when Selly is exposed and doesn't have good line of sight, the Pharah can, especially with the changes to Pharah, actually win this matchup. It's not a counter where you lose every time as the Pharah, but when Selly is protected and does have line of sight, it's usually the McCree who does have the advantage, especially up on this high ground like this where the dive can't come in to clean him up. So this is a tough battle that Gen.G is fighting, and they're really fighting uphill right now. Here comes the attempt of the dive.
Yeah, but now they go ahead, they push in. Stalker finds the hit. That's going to be Selly going down, but Luke pushing forward by himself as well. Get taken out. Now don't have that Winston to play forward for them on the point. Agnes manages to find Choice A1. Stalker getting jumped on. Will be able to stay alive. That pocket coming through, and Levels manages to get the res off there on the Luke, putting the Winston back into the mix. They make their way in onto the point, but still have not been able to find a tick yet. True recipient of that nano boost is going to be zapping away, looking to get in on top of Dance, taking him low. Overback coming through, helping to pop him back up and keep him sustained. Looks like he will be able to do so for a little bit longer. The primal range is enough to go ahead and take him down, but now Agnes finds another one. Kostos taken out by these storm arrows. Jump over to the side, the primal range hit coming in, dumping him even deeper into the back line of the enemy team, but he is going to get topped back up, able to stay alive. Agnes strike in through the wall, takes out Selly. The rest of KongDoo Panthera going to be zoned back. Still can join in to try to contest this for the last second, but Stalker gets rid of True as he's midair. Now the barrage can get dropped down. That's Matrix there, chews up the majority of that damage, but Justin's still going to get popped out of that mech, and Agnes is there to scoop up that final blow.
Really nicely played by Agnes this entire push. I mean, he's really impressed on these DPS heroes. It's a reminder, I think, in this fight that Hanzo's actually quite a mobile hero than he used to be, but in these fights where he's getting battered around, he can climb the wall, especially in an arena like this where you have high and low ground to operate on. You can climb the wall, then jump away, and so many of the resources were devoted to killing him, and he just absorbed all of it, continued to be healed, was never killed because there was no burst to finish him off with the comp that Panthera was running. It just lacks burst once Selly's dead on the McCree. So really well played by Gen.G, just understanding this and playing around that so well.
So, minor change coming in. Agnes going to be swapping over onto the Brigida.
Yep.
We see that sound barrier coming through. Primal Rage going to get popped by Luke. Goes into the back. Drew now over onto the Reinhardt. He's taking a beating here. Going to get bounced over to the side. Charge not going to be taking him back over to his squad. Gets that fire strike hit there on Agnes,
the feels. That's how Reinhardt mains feel right now, man. In this meta, you're like, well, I guess I play this hero and I'm just kind of in the sky.
It's okay. It gets better. Suddenly, won't be having those shield bashes in as long as you have your shield raised up. Luke going to get taken down. Hard inching forward a little bit more. Another barrage coming in. Stalker managed to find 3, and then we'll go ahead and take himself out with the explosive damage. But the damage is done here in favor of Gen.G. Only going to be losing out on the one member. Get that team wipe there right at the end as Kostos will be the last one to fall, and the cards can continue to steamroll forward.
This comp that Panthera is running is less relevant during the street space of Numbani, and because they're running this still at this point, they're hoping to get one big ult usage out and they're going to swap, but it's too late. Now this is going to be basically a free B, and they need to take a fight with these ults and then swap, but it's like too late, you know? It's so delayed because they wanted to trade up on that last fight and they didn't, so they're in such a bad spot right now in terms of ult economy. And it's going to get even worse after they do swap it, and they might even just have to stick with this for the rest of the defense, honestly.
Yep. It was a freebie. They're going to go ahead and try to wrap around the backside, drop down in onto the cart, take control of it. A little routing here from KongDoo Panthera, but can they maintain control? Can they take this fight? Drain some time away from that clock, as you know, just shy of 4 minutes strong here, Gen.G. Pretty good shadow coming down. Oh my goodness, locks them in, but the transcendence is there from Dance to try to keep everybody topped up, and so far it's working a treat. Swinging away, however, almost has another one. The bomb from Cleston is so huge. Takes out, I believe, 3, and True has another shatter online. That Graviton just keeping everybody clumped up. He swings his way to success.
We got to see the Hollywood angle there on the massacre, you know, where the observer just panned to hide the carnage. Look at this high ground shatter attempt.
Drop down, another shatter coming down, but this time the barrier is going to be there. Luke will block that one out, still taking a beating, and he will get eliminated here. Bomb into the back from Shubil, not going to find anything through that one, way too deep. Weston, however, traded back. Transcendence out from Agatha. They want to go ahead and maintain control right here in front of the spawn. Now cutting their way backward. Remech coming through from Quest in the Fire Strike, clipping a couple members. Drew's still going to have the advantage as far as that Earth Shatter is concerned, but KongDoo Panthera do now have to give up a little bit of ground here. Graviton going to be coming through. Sound barrier to answer. Also trying to keep everybody alive, and so far does work out. But as I say that, Selly will get taken down on the back end. Charge for charge, both hit the ground, but Drew's gonna stay there as he's dead. Double scoops up that one, and Gen.G can finally start moving forward.
Oh man, Gen.G still has that ult advantage. Every time you trade ultimates like this, Gen.G's trading up because they've been running this comp to great success. They have been getting value out of their ultimates, whereas KongDoo has not. And in this meta, sometimes you feel like you have to keep running this composition because there's no counter. But it's really rough when you're behind like this.
Shatter out, finds a couple members here. Transcendence is on both sides, however, so nobody gonna get dropped yet. Bomb from Shubil, finding nothing. Pin coming through. Luke gonna be the first one to fall, and now it's just gonna be a slaughter. Team kill coming in an instant blink of an eye. You would have missed it. KongDoo regain control. Now they're gonna be looking to stagger Shubil.
Oops.
Yep.
I don't think he actually wanted to kill him exactly right then, but
well, you know, he right-clicked him.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he could have maybe bought like 5 more seconds.
It's all right.
But anyway,
I mean, they've already drained the clock.
They are draining the clock massively, and it was just one grab. So efficient ult usage here. True has been building these shatters so quickly. He's got another one. They're gonna look for the slam. It misses.
Yeah, drops that one down and get mashed up. No one's gonna be falling yet. Bomb into the back, finds a pickup on the Stalker. On the side of KongDoo, other than choice they want falling yet, but now the pin out as they answer back here. 2-for-2 exchange with Weston getting ready to get knocked out of that mech. Will get taken down now, getting swung on. Luke looking to eliminate him. Still just going to be spamming away in from behind, but Levels manages to finish him off, and the cart will continue inching forward. About a minute remaining here as Gen.G looks for this completion on Nimbani. Yep. Shatter about to be online. The Fire Strike hands it over to him, but can they find an opportunity to use it? Sorry, a bubble there on a Luke, goes in for the pit, manages to find one, but will get taken down, not going to get an opportunity to use that Shattering Machine. The Wrecking Ball coming through. Weston with a swap, takes down Levels, just stomping him out with that pile driver.
Yeah, really well played by Panthera. They already planned for the Hammond swap. Kleston, as soon as he got demeched, was just waiting to die, dying as quickly as possible, made the swap over. That was going to switch over to D.Va, but he knew that was going to be the emergency save button for them. Gen.G made a critical mistake in that fight in terms of Luke's charge, which put him out of position to get that shatter. He still has it now, but that might have actually cost them this completion here. So huge opportunity for Kostos to shut everything down now that he's got the sound barrier complete. They're going to go around the backside. Gen.G is. Drew's ready with the barrier.
Well, it's going to be all in these shadows of the shield. Drops for a moment. Sound barrier is there. 1-for-1 so far. Selly and Agnes both going to get taken down, and Agnes crucially had that rally online. Drew still going to be alive. Drops the hammer. Finds two. Another sound barrier to answer. Out going in for the charge. Taking Shubil off the side of the map. He'll be eliminated. Drew coming up with that one now. Stalker going to be eliminated. Level's going to fall, and it looks like Gen.G might not get this completion. No one tagging in onto the cart. Will get stopped here. A very wonderful defense at the last leg by KongDoo Panthera. They stop the completion from coming through. They still basically have to get there themselves, get to that point C in order to close this out, but we could be going 1-for-1 by the end of Nimbani.
And 2 of these charges for True just do not come up positive. Or sorry, not for True, excuse me, for Luke, do not come up positive, and you really have to think about what does it mean when you commit to a charge, because if you get a pick and then you survive, you're trading up, but when you get a trade, first of all, when you fly off the side, you're able to kill someone, as True did there, but you end up losing yourself, and so that doesn't always trade up when the respawns are coming faster for your opponent. Going back to the original point, though, some kind of failed charges there at the end, something that we could see tightened up. But I think the defense overall was pretty solid from Panthera. I mean, with ult disadvantages throughout the entire Streets phase, they were able to turn it on at the end and actually start getting positive exchanges. Kostos with that massive barrier as well, towards the, I think, second to last fight there. Ending up being very successful. Now what we're seeing here from Gen.G is a little bit different than what we saw, obviously, from Panthera and what we saw earlier on Numbani. Running not the Sombra into, or the Sombra with the Pharah, but actually Sombra and the Brigitte. So kind of a catch-all here against Dive. You know Choi Sai-Wan's hero pool. You're already expecting the Gen.G. They picked this map, so hedge your bets, pick the Brigitte instead, counter the Gen.G. If he does not play in the Gen.G, you know he's playing one of his worst heroes.
Yeah, Stalker has to jump back, was spotted out there a bit earlier than he would have liked, but at least did get some vision on the KongDoo composition as they go in for the attack. Jump button here onto the high ground, so they want them to find that first kill as Agnes will get taken down. The Gen.G already halfway to that Dragon Blade. Rez does manage to go off locals, putting Agnes back into the fight.
That's so critical.
But now they're down on the low ground here, into the back. They dashing through multiple people, building up rapidly, yet still here with this Dragon Blade now at 85%. Agnes was taken down again. Hack coming down. Shubil getting an elimination there onto Selly. Hoping to stabilize a little bit. The point starts going the way of KongDoo here on the attack. Already gaining that first tick. Shubil falling low, then he popped out of the back. Has to jump in. That self-destruct. Tries to stay alive, but Tristan wants into the back. Finds the double kill. Well, not from Shubil. Does claim one, knocking Cleston out of that mech. Still playing forward here, and Gen.G still losing members. Stalker just now respawning, but Dance now going down. Shubil popped out of the mech as he goes back in onto the point to contest this one. They drop like flies, and it seems like it's going to be a very fast cap here on point A for KongDoo.
And this is why they ran the Brigitte blind. Primal Rage usage
He's
here.
just going to swap out.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going for the Rhine, perhaps.
So the blind Brigitte is because you know Choi Sai-Wan's going to be playing the Gen.G. You've watched him play it throughout Season 2. You know he's good at it. It's still not enough, though. And KongDoo Panthera was clearly picking this map for this moment. They've got a great time bank now. They do swap True over after the Primal. EMP's ready.
Spotted out, dumps in the EMP. Sally will get taken down. Shubil coming up with a double kill. Dance as well, going to be finding Kostos, so they will be able to go ahead and close out this fight on the back of the EMP.
This is an incredible trade.
Do they keep playing this far forward? It looks like with Luke jumping up over onto the high ground, they might still try to play here right outside the spawn.
I think you can when you have this setup right now, when you almost have a rally, and you can farm another EMP very quickly. That's what Stalker's looking to do here. You could maybe even get a pick, but mostly he's just trying to farm right now that EMP charge to look for another delay. They want to keep the fight as far away from point B as possible while they have this composition. They'll swap after it fails, but that gives them room to swap. If they die here, there's a little bit of extra time, and we may see that start to occur now since Stalker didn't build the EMP. The fight had to be pushed back. Now let's see if Luke sticks with this Winston. He will stick with the Winston, interestingly enough. It's going to be tough to win against this amount of sustain, though, coming out from KongDoo Panthera with the Winston much longer. They're really putting all their coins, or all their eggs, rather, in the EMP basket. I don't know why I said coins, but...
Coins and eggs, about the same thing.
I don't put coins in baskets, but, you know.
They have
you guys know what I mean.
They have both been used as a currency in some point, whether it's bartering or actually purchasing something. But Bomb going to be thrown into the back. Shubil looking for a pick-off. Manages to find Sally, and True will get taken down to the front lines. Still pushing up to the top, looking to break down Cleston's mech.
The risk pays off.
Forth between those divas, and yeah, it does work out quite well.
That was really well played by Shubil because he actually not only launched the self-destruct, but shoved with his rocket boosters Sally out of position where he would be caught by the self-destruct no matter what. Now the EMP comes out.
Yeah, throws that one down. Instantly, 2 members make it 3. Will be dropping. Selly with no shielding on that Zarya. Very easy target. They have this primal range. Looks like Gen.G might want to continue playing forward. Sound barrier going to be on the way. Transcendence online, but we'll go ahead. We'll kite back just a little bit. At least play the corner.
This comp is so much information because of the Sombra and the Winston that can stay at high ground and run back. So they always know where KongDoo Panthera is, so no surprises there. They can outmaneuver them. The Transcendence is going to be the biggest tool here for this next fight. When the Shatter comes down, he cannot be caught. If Duns gets hit with that, then this is likely a winning fight for Panthera.
Shatter coming down, a bit of a delayed one there, but True still will be connecting in onto multiple members, looking for that pip with the shoot match. Come down. There's a lock come out of that, denying that kill away. Transcendence in from Agathis to keep everybody else topped up. Sound barrier perfectly timed there as Luke fell dangerously low. He'll stay alive, and Dance finds the first kill. The fight as Agatha will get dropped, but Agnes falls to that fire strike at the same time. Right before that rally would have been online. Now Luke not standing a chance. Will get taken down. Bomb goes up, comes back down. Lockout from the shield. Shubil pops Plastic out of that mech, but he has to head for the hills because he almost loses it again, and that should be a completion here onto beat. But good time buying, fantastically done by Gen.G. They drain that clock down significantly, but now they effectively have to stop KongDoo from completing the map dangerously close. You can see barely any space left from where Gen.G was halted.
It was such a unique approach too. I mean, running the Winston for that long with the Sombra rather than swapping over, and it worked really well. Here's the EMP from Stalker one more time.
Drops it in, and yeah, the characters that you would expect to die immediately do so. One's reliant on those shields to stay sustained.
The big failure in that last fight, just to go back to it for a second, was Dince was positioned to avoid being hit by the Shatter, but his Transcendence was so far away and so late because of it that they ended up losing out. Now you could see the swaps come through because the Sombra is no longer valuable in this choke, and they wanted to just use the ults to buy further time and then make that swap. They've got a really good chance to hold this and win this map right now if they can trade up in even just one fight.
Swing here to the front line. Shatter coming down, locks them all up. Transcendence is there. Dance, however, trying to keep everybody alive. Shubil going to be the target of that charge. How True has isolated himself. Will get taken down in exchange of the Reinhardt so far because they want shortly after will be taken out. Snowy cutting his way back, has that grab online, but just needs to hold on to it for the next fight. Many members of Gen.G, however, still pushing forward, still picking up these kills, staggering them as best as possible, buying more time off of that clock.
Really nice reactions there by the supports on Gen.G. Even after the incredible Shatter, it just didn't matter because they were set up so well to not only heal through, but have that armor from the previous rally. So KongDoo Panthera loses one of their biggest tools, but True's back at 66%. They still have, I think, personally, arguably the better ults here because they have this grab. This has to be it right now, though, on the high ground.
Rally coming out, Choice A1, starting things off. Agnes now going to be matching. Transcendence going to be in. Shatter coming down from Luke, but he will get taken down immediately after that one. But the bomb from Shubil is looking to halt KongDoo Panthera in their tracks. Both supports. He gets picked up by that one, but now a Shatter coming in. Sound barrier timed perfectly by levels. Keeps everybody alive. They even have the Transcendence to chain in with that Graviton Surge. So denying away those kills, now locking them up with a Graviton of their own. Stalker invests that 2 kills. Coming up on the back of that, now a third as Sally goes down. And Gen.G looking to move up 2-0 here.
Din still has the armor, you know? It's the armor shield Zenyatta that's unkillable. He's doing so much to protect his team. He's building these Transcendences quickly through damage because he's racking up these right clicks, doing so much here. And because of all of this, Gen.G just keeps this ult advantage. Their grabs are being more effective. They hold the armor. Agnes is about to have another rally as KongDoo Panthera uses theirs to approach.
And they hold the armor here for Dance, but KongDoo Panthera, they do have these ultimates. Struck comes in, the shield is up. Luke blocking that one out. No pickoffs to be found. But Luke will get taken down here in the front line. That's going to buy a lot of space for KongDoo. Now Shubil taken out of that mech. He tries to make his way out of there. The pin, not quite going to connect. True, however, shields up, hiding his way back as best as possible. The Shatter coming in, locking up multiple members. The cart still inching forward. No one able to tag it to deny this one away. Luke finally wakes his way out, gets Boot back. It is just 0.17 meters away from completion. Transcendence coming in, but it's too late to save the life of his main tank. Now Agnes as well going to be taken out. Gen.G, they need to string this together. They need to win a miracle fight. The bomb coming down. Shubil making it back in the mech. Manages the bomb collected out of that one yet again.
Levels almost set up a huge stress.
Around the backside. Graviton Surge coming in, however, locking up multiple. Luke charges back through, joins in onto the cart, trying to stay alive. But he's only got a Lucio giving him support. Now a break, but she will fall. Levels can't tag in. KongDoo Panthera will be able to take a victory here on Numbani, tying us up 1-1.
Levels almost saved the game with that right click on the Lucio. The angle was almost good enough to prevent that Reinhardt shield from stopping the self-destruct from killing everyone. So I had a little outburst there because I thought maybe we were about to see one of the greatest plays in Korean Overwatch history, but it did not pan out that way. Nice attempt, though, with the Lucio boop there. But we've got a series on our hands.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's been really back and forth between these two, fights to fights. Similar level of play, I think, on the Reinhardt Zarya. It's just the small differences in ult economy, I think, that is really turning the tides here. Who's holding those grabs, who's getting the more value out of them, who's building them faster? Because it's not as cut and dry as it was earlier when we were looking at the matchup between Hisu and Yeomon, where Hisu was just clearly controlling it for the majority of that series. This is very much give and take. I mean, both players are having success and then subsequently, you know, making some small mistakes here and there, I think the series could really go either way after watching this Numbani map. The cool thing, though, I think the big takeaway for me on this map is actually going back to the A attack from Panthera, is the fact that they were able to run dive. That's the first team to successfully do that today. And most teams in the world across all Contenders regions are not really messing around with that, especially because Anubis is not in the pool. So that's some extra depth that Panthera has shown us. And Choi Se-hwan, we talked about it. Gen.G knew already. They ran the blind Brigitte there instead of the Pharah because they were like, of course he's going to run Gen.G. And it worked so well.
Yeah, just immediately targeted out onto Agnes, taking him down, getting rid of that pesky Brigitte, opens things up for the Gen.G. We saw how rapidly he was able to build up those Dragon Blades, so very effective in the end. KongDoo do get that victory, so we have a series tied up 1-1. This is pretty much on a knife's edge. You know, it was, again, it was a 2-0 start on Busan, but it was a lot of back and forth. Some really interesting routing coming through from both of these teams, trying to make their way in onto the card, both on attack and defense that we saw there on Numbani. So this really is up in the air. Maybe we have our second match of Season 3 go all the way to a tiebreaker.
Certainly could. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves yet, but it could happen.
Maybe.
All right. I mean, just because it's tied up doesn't mean it has to be tied for the rest of the series. All right.
It's very true. You know. But we're going to have a quick break, guys. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We'll go ahead and see the rest of this series.